What is going on, guys? My name is The Rose, and today I am by myself. Cypher was busy, he had a meeting today, so we couldn't record. Today is January 28th, 2018. This is episode 4, part number 2. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more episodes of the Game Corner podcast, as well as gameplay videos throughout the week. Follow me on Twitch as well for live streams, and eventually going to be uploading there as well more regularly. Follow Black Sakura here on Facebook. Follow Erin Fitzgerald on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and her YouTube channel and whatnot. I would greatly appreciate it if you did all that for me. Everything you need is in the description box down below. So I am crunched for time. I have about a little less than 40 minutes to get through this news. So it kind of works out today that I'm alone. So I'm going to start with the small stuff first. So first we're going to talk about Facebook. Facebook's getting in the into the ring with YouTube and Twitch. So the proposed steel cage match is now going to be a triple threat match. So here we go. Facebook versus Twitch versus YouTube. Last year, Facebook launched a creator app for its hosts to create more video content for the social media network. Now it is doubling down on the concept. This time, in those who make gaming videos, it is a pretty clear bid to compete with YouTube, Twitch, and Mixer. Oh yeah, fuck it. Throw Mixer in there too. Make it a fatal 4-way Hell in a Cell match. How about that? For the attention of gaming fans who love watching other people play video games. Facebook points to the success of gaming creators like Stone Mountain 64, who I've never heard of, who has more than 1 million followers watching his Facebook live stream of PUBG and Fortnite. Social Network now allows creators in the program to stream in 1080p 60 FPS. The company also wants to add monetization system for those in the program, likely through payments during live streams. So pretty much the way Twitch does it, like donations and whatnot. That's what it sounds like to me. Facebook hosted an event on the H1Z1 Facebook page to bring dozens of creators into the program. The group includes live streamers such as Mrs. May, Doom49, and the Warp Zone, none of which I've either heard of either. You'll also see more of the creators in April's PAX East conference. And then there's a video basically detailing it. Honestly, it doesn't really detail it. Actually, I watched this video, and it just shows a bunch of people that are in the program and will be volunteering to use it. I mean, the way YouTube is kind of like screwing people over, hey, I mean, the more the merrier. Get your name out there more. The more places you can, the better, to be honest. And wherever you think you are, wherever you think you would be best suited for the internet, then yeah, go there. If you feel best on YouTube, use YouTube. If you feel best on Facebook or Mixer, then go there. If you feel best on Twitch, stick with Twitch. So, with that being said, let's get into the small stuff first. Gran Turismo Sport, first major patch 1.11 goes live. It features new cars, tracks, and GT League updates. Patch 1.11 will be live tomorrow. It's already live. That went live as of Friday. Bringing 10 new cars, new tracks, with 8 different layouts, and 4 exciting new GT League events. And I'll just go through the patch list real quick. The new vehicles added are the Dodge Viper GTS, the Ferrari 512BB, the Ferrari 330 P4, Ford GT, Jaguar XJ13, Lamborghini Diablo GT, McLaren F1, Toyota 2000 GT, Toyota FT-1, Toyota Supra RZ. The new tracks The famous classic high-speed ring track. No, I'm sorry. I went ahead of myself. The famous classic high-speed track, Autodromo Nazionale Monza. That's a great track. Finally makes its debut in GT Sport, and we've added a total of 8 challenging layouts to master, including 3 non-GP versions of the Autodrome Lago Maggiore Center East and West. I butchered the pronunciation of those track names. I apologize. GT League events. Following the launch of GT League with update 1.10, we know you've been itching for more category races in which to test your racing mettle. So this month we're providing just that with the new addition of 4 exciting new events, including F-150 Raptor Survival, J Sport Meeting, La Fiesta Cavallino, and GR3 Endurance Series. I'm guessing that's Grade 3 Endurance races. It says, remember you could stay up to date with all of the latest GT news here on PlayStation Blog and the official site for Gran Turismo. I put this game in the list as one of my most disappointing games of 2017 in the very first episode of the Game Corner podcast. Personally, I think they're running damage control because a lot of people were not very happy with this game when it released, with all of the missing content that, us fans were so used to in previous games in the series. Eventually they're going to be adding a single player campaign mode, and they're going to keep adding more cars and more tracks because the game released with not much in it. So I'm not going to buy the game until I feel it's a complete game, because I made that mistake with Street Fighter V. And while Street Fighter V felt more like a complete game, it was still missing quite a bit, and now that game is finally complete. But moving on. Let's get away from that here. Soul Calibur 6 details new and returning fighters. The stage of history is set. Does your soul still burn? Soul Calibur is back with unique weapon-based combat as new and returning characters battle it out against gorgeous 16th century fantasy settings. We are detailing the return of Keelik, Jean-Qua, Nightmare, as well as a new character, Gra, or Gro, I don't know how to pronounce his name, entering the fray. Now, I'm only going to read the detail of the new character because any fan of Soul Calibur already knows who the previous 3 mentioned characters are. So, the mysterious Aval organization was a secret group with origins rooted in ancient times. They say the group came to be when a king used the spirit sword to defeat the cursed counterpart, and with his dying breath, entrusted them both with the blade and his unfinished mission. Each new generation has takes on the group's mission to rid the world of the outsider, quote unquote. Those connected with the cursed sword, one such member was Gra, about whom little is known, save for that he was a fearsome warrior through his fighting style. Though his fighting style is shrouded in mystery, he is believed to have wielded 2 swords. Some also say he kept a certain technique close to his chest. Gra utilizes the Aval twin blade swordsmanship that often employs multiple consecutive slashes. This has a major disadvantage in that a careless practitioner runs the risk of injuring themselves. As such, it takes a lot of practice to use this style. The dual swordsmanship also allows for the swords to be split in 2 and wielded separately. This tactic is one of the many ways a wielder can use to surprise their opponent, giving them the opportunity to string together a series of blows that lead to a final deadly slash. So, there you have it. There's still no release date yet for Soul Calibur 6, but I'm interested. I'm interested, man. Hey, dual swordsmanship, I'm all for it. I love twin blades. I honestly can't wait. Been a fan of Soul Calibur since Soul Calibur 2, and I have played every game in the series except for the PSP one. Okay, this here we're going to cover. This is quite a long thing here. Atlas asks, which games do you want to see on what platforms? And more in its annual Japanese survey. Each year, Atlas shares a lengthy survey for fans to get a good idea what they want, including remakes, ports, titles by other developers, and more. Here are some of the interesting questions. Now, there are 66 questions, one being a bonus. And let me tell you something, man. There are 6 of them picked out in this article, so I'm going to go over them with you. If a Persona game listed below were to be announced, would you play it? If so, please tell us which device you'd like it for. Persona series shooting game, Persona 5 Fighter, Persona 6, which I think is too early for that, Persona strategy game, Persona action RPG, or an online RPG, or a Persona board game. Personally, I would play the first 2. I would play the shooter, I would play the fighter. Moving on. If Atlas were to do a full remake of a past title, would you play it? If so, please tell us what device you'd like it for. I'm going to butcher the hell out of some of these names, just so you know, so I'm warning you now. Megami Ibonroku Persona Remake, Persona 2 Innocent Sin Eternal Punishment Remake, Persona 3, 4, or 5 Remake. Why would you remake 5? It just came out less than a year ago. Shin Megami Tensei 9 Remake, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturnal Remake, Shin Megami Tensei 4 or Apocalypse Remake, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga Remake, or Devil Summoner Soul Hackers Remake, or Devil Summoner Raidyao Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army Remake, Etran Odyssey Main Number Title Remake, Devil Summoner Series Remake, or Devil Survivor Series Title Remake. How would you feel about another company announcing a new title for any of the following Atlas games? Soul Hackers title, Devil Summoner title, Devil Survivor title, Persona Fighting Game title, I would play that as I mentioned before, Persona Dancing title, Persona Q title, Etran Odyssey title, Persona Series title, Shin Megami Tensei Series title. Those are your choices. Next question. How would you feel about any of the following work from Atlas? Collaboration work on the contents from other companies, video game adaptation of other content such as anime, ports and remasters of past titles such as Dragon's Crown Pro. Looking forward to that game, by the way. Remakes of past titles such as Etran Odyssey, Untold, Catherine Full Body. I didn't like the original Catherine, but I'll probably give this game a chance again when the PS4 remake comes out. A spin-off of classic titles such as Persona 4 Dancing. Major number title development from classic series such as Shin Megami Tensei. Development on a completely new title. Well, I would certainly be interested in a completely new title. For those who would support the development of a completely new title from Atlas, share your thoughts on the following. A completely new title by Studio Zero, a completely new title by the Etran Odyssey team, a completely new title by the Persona team, a completely new title by Vanillaware, a completely new title by the Shin Megami Tensei team. And this is the last... Yeah, this is the last question because the last question listed was just a joke question, so I'm not even going to bother covering that one. Should a main number title be released for the series below, which device would you like it for? Persona, Etrian Odyssey, or Shin Megami Tensei? What new game would you like from which series the most? I guess is pretty much asking. Personally, I would say Etrian Odyssey, since I think it has the least amount of games in its series, so I would go with that, personally. I have pretty much no experience with either of these games, I should have you know. But my opinion still stands. I would personally pick the Etrian Odyssey series. So, yeah, we're almost done here already. Square Enix talks likelihood of porting the new Secret of Mana remake to the Switch. When Secret of Mana Remake was revealed on PS4 and PS Vita, fans wondered whether it would come to the Switch. Producer Masaru Oyamada shared some thoughts on the likelihood of in a recent interview with IGN. On the likelihood of Secret of Mana's remake coming to Nintendo Switch, quote, "When we originally started to develop the title, the Switch wasn't announced at the time, and so we started developing for the PlayStation platforms. With that said, after announcing this, there has been quite a bit of demand for the Switch version. So we are taking in that feedback. And if there is a large demand for it, we'd like to see what we can potentially do, but no plans as of yet," end quote. On the possibility of Seiken Densetsu Collection and Seiken Densetsu 3 coming westward. Of course, with the demand of Seiken Densetsu 3, we want to kind of consider it. However, if the studio were to take it such a task, there'd be some hurdles to overcome when localizing a game that was originally released in 1995 for the Super Famicom. Looking at the classic version, obviously we don't have the same development environment, so it may be a little bit difficult to consider bringing a localized version over in the current condition. We do want to kind of figure out if we can figure out a resolution. That's something we've continuously been thinking about, but nothing we can say for sure. What else is next for the Mana series? After stating that he definitely like to make a new Seiken Densetsu game. So I'm guessing Seiken Densetsu is the Secret of Mana. Probably not. Could be wrong. I'm not Japanese. The reason why we are remaking all of these titles right now is to remind people who have played the game in the past of the experience, but also give an opportunity for the younger generation to try the series out as well. And so the reason why I'm working on the remake project is in light of potentially making new titles in the series in the future. If there's a demand for these titles, of course, as a producer, this is something I'd like to look into to see if it is possible. Secret of Mana releases on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita and PC on February 15th, 2018. So, in a couple of weeks. I am interested in this game. I probably won't buy it. I'm not going to buy it right away, in fact, because I have other things I'm spending my money on next month. But I will get it at some point. I do want to play it. Maybe I'll GameFly it, and if by some miracle it shows up in Redbox, maybe I'll Redbox it. But yeah, Redbox gaming kind of sucks. So it probably won't end up in there. Sega reveals new game at Taipei Game Show. Alrighty then. Taipei Game Show. The Taipei Game Show, what a mouthful, has begun. Sega has announced the highlighted games as well as their upcoming schedule. At Taipei Game Show, Sega let convention goers try the following games hands-on: DX2, Shin Megami Tensei Liberation, Dragon's Crown Pro, A Certain Magical Virtual On, Hokuto ga Gotoku, Valkyrie Chronicles 4, Shining Resonance Refrain, Senran Kagura Burst Re Naval, Mystery Gensokyo, The Tower of Desire Reloaded. Sega also announced in their schedule that they were going to reveal a new unannounced game, which would have been announced at 2 a.m. yesterday in the Eastern Standard Time. As of right now, there is no news on said unannounced game, so nobody knows what it is at the moment, other than the people who were at the Chinese convention. When more news breaks about this unannounced game, I will have it for you on the podcast. So with that being said, this brings me to my final piece, which is good. I have 10 minutes, and what I'm going to do here is I have a part of a video from Play Overwatch on YouTube that was uploaded on Thursday. I'm going to play part of it, and I'm going to give a reaction. The clip is a little less than 3 minutes long. I'm going to play it and give you guys my reaction because it talks about the toxicity of the Overwatch community and how they are working to fix it. And there are some things that I, as well as many people, do not agree with. So here we go.
The first thing that I wanted to talk about was our progress on toxicity. As you all know, it is a major initiative of the Overwatch team and everyone here at Blizzard to minimize the amount of toxicity that takes place in online games, not just our games, but games in general. So we've been putting a lot of effort against this and I think making some good progress. As you all know, we recently added the ability for our console players to report people,
good idea.
Which has been amazing and has shown us really great results.
Should have been there from the start.
We also added warnings for people who were about to get suspended, silenced, or banned, that their behavior was unacceptable and that if they kept getting reported by other players or noticed by us here at Blizzard,
also should have been there from the start.
Get in trouble, and that's helped a lot.
How do you not have this stuff?
We've also given feedback to those of you who are reporting players who are exhibiting poor behavior, in the sense that you would get a message in the game itself that would tell you, hey, you reported somebody and we've taken action against them. I'm very pleased to report that in competitive play, since those features went live, incidents of abusive chat are now down 17%. So we measure the stuff and we track it, and we're very pleased with those results. And on the other hand, player reporting, so the amount of times that you guys actually report bad behavior, is now up 20%. So we're restoring faith in the system. It's starting to work much better, and it's actually having a big impact on the community. So,
my question is, why wasn't this stuff implemented in the game in the beginning? When you released the game, it should have had the report and warning system to begin with, and the toxicity that has been going on in this community for about 2 years probably would not have existed as heavily as it has.
So we know those numbers are not as great as they could be. We know that the problem is not solved and things aren't perfect, but it's getting a lot better, and a lot of the initiatives that we're doing here at Blizzard are starting to make a difference. We've instituted some really interesting programs on that front as well. I'll just give you one example. A lot of these we don't like to talk about because we don't want players gaming the system or knowing what we can catch you for or action you for. But I'll give you an example of one thing that we've been doing that has proven very positive. We now proactively seek out social media sites like YouTube, for example, and look for incidents of very toxic behavior and track down the accounts that are participating in those and action them oftentimes before anybody's even reported them or they've shown up in any other place. So that's just one example of us being proactive that I think is going to make a big difference over time.
All right, now, quite honestly, I don't agree with Blizzard spying on people's social media accounts. And they're targeting people such as Twitch streamers, Twitter goers, YouTubers. I mean, really? I mean, Blizzard, you're spying on people. And you're banning them without warning if you see something you don't like. That maybe a YouTuber has commented on a video or somebody has tweeted. or somebody said on a Twitch stream or something, or maybe in a Twitch chat of somebody's. I mean, that's kind of messed up, man. Isn't there like a way you guys can control the toxicity without having to spy on people? That's kind of shady. I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. Now, I don't play Overwatch, but I mean, that kind of sucks. I mean, what if someone's just joking around and, and you take that seriously and you ban them and they were just making a joke with their friends on Twitter or in a YouTube comment or on Facebook or something? I kind of, that I don't agree with. Personally, guys, I think you really should try to do something differently with trying to catch people in their toxicity. Maybe have people dedicated, like how YouTube's going to be doing it. How they're going to hire 10,000 people to be manually reviewing people's videos and streams and whatnot. Maybe you guys should have people watching matches, and you guys could just catch the toxicity within game, because that's where it's going to be the most anyway. Dedicate people to Overwatch games. I know there are thousands of Overwatch games played a day, and there are so many played at the same time that I'm sure you won't be able to catch them all. But the toxicity is the worst within gameplay. So personally, I think maybe you guys should dedicate some people to reviewing played games, maybe like recording the games and reviewing the footage later, or reviewing them live and like kicking people and suspending or banning them straight away as it happens. I don't agree in the stalking or spying on people's accounts, because that kind of makes you guys look shady. Now, I'm not an Overwatch player, as I just said. I did play the beta, and I think it's an alright game. But I just have other games I'm more interested in, and there are a lot of them. So that's my take on the Overwatch thing. That is everything I have for episode 4, part number 2. I am rushing this podcast so much I must have mispronounced things probably more than a dozen times. But I apologize for rushing, but I'm definitely crunched for time. This was a busy weekend for me. I thank you guys for watching episode 4, and those of you who support this podcast, I appreciate it. Again, follow me and Black Sakura and Erin Fitzgerald and all of our social media. Links in the description down below. And, check me out whenever I'm streaming. Or if you like the videos, please give them a like and whatnot. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching episode 4. And until next week, my name is The Rose, and I'll catch your ass down the road.